Jones with Plus Model Magazine, and this is Modeling 101. And today we're going to be discussing rates and working for free. So, if you're an aspiring model, well, should you be working for free? In the very beginning, you will be working for free because what you're doing is trying to get some exposure, trying to get some experience. So you'll probably do some local photo shoots for free, you'll do some fashion shows for free because you'll be able to not only get the experience of being on set, but also developing a good relationship with other potential models, that client, and getting to know other people, especially if you're doing a show. You get to know a lot of people and kind of see and hear and kind of network with other people. So those are really good things to do in the very beginning of your career. Once you've been doing that for a little while, and I'm going to say about 6 months to a year, try to do as many as you can during that first year. Then you can start developing a rate sheet for yourself. So how do you develop that rate sheet for yourself? Let's say client A emails you and says, we're interested in working with you, what are your rates? And you have absolutely no idea what to say. So what you say back is, I would love your website, I love your clothing, I would love to work with you, what is your budget? So this way you know you're giving it right back to them because you don't know. You can say $500. Meanwhile, in their head, they were thinking, oh, we'll probably be able to make about $750. So you're cutting yourself out of $250 because they're not going to say, oh, right, we were going to pay you $750, but we'll give you the $500. So go ahead and just put it right back on them because honestly, you don't know, especially with the smaller designers, you don't know what their budget is like. Some could pay $250 for the day, some pay $500, some pay $1,000, depending on who they are. So you want to bring it back on them and say, hey, what is your budget like? Just let me know, and what does the photo shoot entail? That way you know. If that client says that they don't have a budget, then you have to make the decision on whether or not that client is well-known enough. What are they going to give you? Will they give you some of the pictures? Do they have a lot of social media followers? Is it worth your time to work for that particular client for free at that stage of your career? If it is, if it's a brand that has a great name and a lot of people love them and they have a great social media following, then it may benefit you to do it for free. Or maybe they'll throw in some clothes or something like that. Not that that's the way that it should be moving forward and going on. If that person, let's say, offers you some items of clothing or says, we're not able to pay you this time, maybe they're trying you out. So maybe for the next time that they ask you to shoot, what is your budget? And if they say there is no budget, then that time you say, I'm sorry, I can't do it at this time, but let me know when you do have a budget for a photo shoot, and you leave it at that. If they want you and you did a great job, clearly they asked you the second time, then they'll come back and they'll say, oh, maybe we'll work something out. That's how normally it happens. Because you have to think that smaller brands and smaller designers and smaller boutiques don't have a lot of money. So it's not like you're gouging, it's not like you're asking for thousands of dollars from them. They're not a huge brand. You're trying to work with them, but you're also trying to start developing yourself as someone who is a paid model. Now, if this is a big brand, and you know who those big brands are, very few times will you work for free because those brands have the budget and have the money to pay you. So automatically, absolutely say, what is your budget? And most of the time you will be getting something. And if not, then again, you have to determine whether it's more important for you to get that exposure from that big brand and all of their followers, or should you get your $300, $500, or $1,000, whatever it is that they're paying. So it's really up to you, but you have to start setting a standard. And if you don't know what that person is paying, then you go ahead and you ask them and you put it back on them. The other thing is, if you're working with another model, don't discuss your rates. And the reason why I say that is because you don't know, as an aspiring model, if that other model is someone that they've used before. Was she hired through an agency? So her rate may be higher than yours. And if you tell her, what your rate is, and she turns around and says, well, I'm getting paid $700 and you got paid $300, you're going to feel a certain way. But they made that decision based on the fact that they have to pay the agency a fee and have an agency model there. And if you're an aspiring model, they probably paid you less in order to be able to include you. So this is why you don't discuss your rates. And one day you may be that girl, and you may be the one getting $750 or $1,000 or $1,500 for a photo shoot, and you don't want to be the one that's going to disappoint the other girl because she's still on her way up. So discussing rates on any photo shoot or any project is never a good idea. So that is how you will develop your rate sheet for yourself. Be comfortable. It's really difficult in the very beginning to talk about rates because you don't have an agency, and when you do have an agency, the agency will do all this talking for you. But right now, as an aspiring model and as a freelance model, you will do this for yourself. So become familiar with the industry. If you hear of anything, if you hear of any rates, moving around, make sure you jot that down so that you kind of know where you're coming from. And good luck, because this is just the beginning for you. This has been Modeling 101 with Madeline Jones. See you soon.